Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are continuing with our daily study. Today is an incredibly powerful and special day. Today is the 14th day of Nisan, of Iyar, excuse me. It's called Pesach Sheni, second Passover, and it connects us to historically when the Israelites had a second opportunity to connect the light of Passover a month later. Today is also, which means we connect to all the light of Pesach that we didn't manage to manifest last month. Whatever light of freedom we didn't manage to achieve, whatever might have slipped away over the last month, we can regain it and secure it within us for the rest of the year. It's also the day of elevation of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, one of the greatest sages and miracle workers, one of the closest students of Rabbi Akiva, one of the friends of Rabbi Shimon, one of the five students of Rabbi Akiva that Rabbi Akiva assembled after the 24,000 students died during the plague during the time of the Omer, and he instilled within them the consciousness of love. So we're meditating that, and then that's where all the miracles and the wisdom and everything came. So we're meditating that through the light of Rabbi Meir Balanes, we can awaken endless miracles and wonders for each and every one of us and all of our loved ones. We can awaken endless love, and we know that the greatest miracle is true transformation. So we're asking the Creator through the light of the Zohar, through the light of Rabbi Meir Balanes, that we'll be able to experience the miracle of transformation, the miracle of the revelation of love within us and in the whole world. Let's begin with the prayer of the Ari. Where is it? Here. And we awaken deep appreciation for this great merit that we have to have access to the light of the Zohar. The Lag BaOmer is just a few days away. It's incredibly exciting that we can connect to this great light together and help reveal it in the world, and that we have been given this gift of being connected to this great light. So, here we go. ריבון העולמים ואדוני האדונים אבכם ומסלחו מודי בנחם לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ודאבתנו וכיתה וישתך ושקרתנו תורתך ודעתך ודעת הקודש ונתת לנו חלק בסודות תורתך הקדושה מענו לחיים אשר עשיתם על חסד גדול כזה. על כן אנחנו מקפידים תחנוננו לפניך שתמכו ותסלח כל חטאותינו ועוונותינו ואל יהיו עוונותינו מבדילים בינינו לבניך וכן יוסף אנחנו אלוהינו ודאבתנו שתכונן את לבבינו ליראתך ולאהבתך ותקשר אוזנך ולנעל ותפתח לבבינו הערה בסודות תורתך ויהיה לימודנו זה נחת רוח לפני כיסך ולכך ניחוח ותציל עלינו מכל נשמתנו וכל בחינתנו, ושיתנצצו נצוצות עבדיך הקדושים אשר עדם על ידם גילית את דבריך לעולם, וזכותם וזכות אבותם וזכות תורתם ותמימותם וקדושתם, יעמוד לנו למען הקשר בדברם אלו ובזכותם תהרננו, ומה שאנו יודעים כמאמן אם זה מהירות ישראל גלנה ובלתי נפלא בתורתך, כי אדוני תן חוכמה מפיו דעת ותבונה. יהיו לרצון מפיו יגן לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי. So we're starting a new chapter, chapter 5, and now we're going to start to go into the interpretations and the experience that Joseph had with Pharaoh, and comparing it to Daniel. And yeah, this is very nice, beautiful. Some deep things that we're going to get to, but hopefully it won't be too complicated. Just an update on our fundraising. As I said, I think one of the previous days, we've through donations and pledges, we've reached around $30,000. So we still have another approximately, I think we reached through pledges as well around $32,000. So we still have another 20,000 to go. And Lag BaOmer is in a few days. Of course, it would be amazing to reach our goal by Lag BaOmer. But if we need a little more time, then of course we'll take that time. But if you or someone you know wants to contribute to the daily Zohar book by Michael Berg to help make this possible, to be part of helping publish this incredible book that will bring so much light to the world. If you yourself haven't at least given something to participate in it, I highly recommend to do so until Lag BaOmer, so that you can be part of this revelation, and so that we can collectively make this happen. So here we go, chapter 5. Since Elohim has shown you all of this, so what are we talking about? It says that Joseph was taken out of prison. He was standing in front of Pharaoh, and now it's time for him to. And now he interprets Pharaoh's dreams. He says the dream of the seven cows, the seven and seven, the healthy and the sick, and the seven and seven grains, the also the thick and the thin. They represent 7 years of plenty that will then be consumed by 7 years of famine. And Joseph tells Pharaoh, look, we're going to go through some tough times right now. A fifth of everything that is uh, grown over the next 7 years should be stored in a smart way so that we have what we need during the 7 years of famine. So Pharaoh says, uh, paragraph 58, Rabbi Chia says, Paro ba lenasa le Yosef. So before we go into Pharaoh's answer and their whole discussion, it says that Pharaoh wanted to test Joseph. Ve'achnif lechelma. And he switched around the details of his dream. So until Joseph came, as we said, all of the dream interpreters, all of the magicians, all of the astrologers, everyone in Egypt already did what they could to try and interpret Pharaoh's dreams. And Pharaoh, he in his dream, he was shown a dream, but he was also shown the interpretation. When he woke up, he remembered the dream, but he did not remember what the dream meant. So he knew what the dream, he knew that he knew what the dream meant, but he didn't know what the dream meant. So every person who told him, he knew, no, that's not it. That's not it. I don't know what it is, but I know it's not that. So when Pharaoh saw Joseph, he told him he told him the details of the dream, but he mixed things up. He changed the order of how things were appeared to him. He changed certain details, subtle details that to you and I wouldn't make a difference. But the way he phrased the dreams was different than he actually saw them. Yosef began to have a yad dagin. But Joseph, because he understood the levels, he understood the different spiritual levels. It's not just, oh, this means that in a superficial kind of um, I can't remember the word I'm trying to use. If someone knows this word I'm trying to use, let me know. Maybe like Joseph, you'll figure it out. Um, it's not just like a nice way of just kind of saying things. Wow, the word is bothering me. Either way, so so Joseph understood the actual truth, not like metaphors and you just want to make things up. No, he understood there are levels. There's a system of how everything works. You can't just make things up. Istaka b'kol milah. He studied. He looked at every word that Pharaoh said, and he looked at it. Not just Pharaoh said it, but he looked at it in its true system. Va'ama kachameta. No, that's not your dream. This is what you saw in your dream. So he corrected Pharaoh's dream. He corrected Pharaoh's dream and then, kol mila mila kit everything as it should be. He first organized the order of Pharaoh's dream, and then he interpreted it. So after he interprets it, paragraph 59, Hadar Dichtiv, it says, Vayom Paro Yosef achrei hodi Elokim otecha et kol zot ein navon vechacham kamocha. So Pharaoh says to Joseph, because God has shown you all of this, there is no one as wise or as discreet and wise as you. Pharaoh gives Joseph great praise. And that leads Pharaoh to making him his viceroy and in charge of everything, in charge of the whole operation of storing all the food and distributing it. So the Zohar points out, because God has shown you. So Pharaoh was so surprised how Joseph was able to correct his description of his own dream. He claimed, were you standing there with me in the dream? Did you see the dream with me? How would you know all of this? How could you know such detail of the dream that only I saw? Were you there with me? Right? After God revealed this to you, meaning after you were there with me during the dream, Taman Haveta Shchiach. You must have been there during the dream, that you knew all these details. Uvegin kach, and therefore Amar, he said, and kol zot, meaning all these details that you saw. Yadat chelma hechava veyadat pishrei. That's how you must have known the dream. You must have been there with me, right, in the dream, and that's how you. Because I received the interpretation. So you must have remembered the dream and the interpretation while I forgot the interpretation. Right. So Pharaoh did not understand that Joseph received. He was able to see into the spiritual worlds, and he was given the messages of what the dream meant. He thought that this was something else. He thought that Joseph was there with him in the dream. Paragraph 60. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak says, I just want to remind us, whenever we get to sections of the Zohar like this, and of course, as we're coming to Lag BaOmer, we want to remind ourselves that this is not just, we're not just reading and studying and going on. Every word of the Zohar carries, even if we're reading concepts, the things we are talking about, like stories and metaphors and stuff, every word of the Zohar holds the Creator's endless light. Every message, every paragraph is another revelation of light in our lives, purifying our consciousness, helping us right here as we're talking about messages and dreams, and we're drawing clarity and direction, divine inspiration, depth and truth, right? Connecting to a limitless reality. With the light of the Zohar, we're awakening more love within ourselves and the world. So don't get, of course, we're reading the story, we're explaining it, but don't get caught up only in the story. Don't make this about a story. Continue to have this be an experience of your soul's elevation and bringing light to the world. Rabbi Yitzchak says, "Yehachi Yosef amakola chel mafishra." When it came to Joseph, he knew the dream and the interpretation. Daniel, like Daniel the prophet, just as Daniel also, when he was interpreting Nebuchadnezzar's dream, he also told him the dream and the interpretation. Amalei lav hai kehai. So Rabbi, I think it's Rabbi Chia, responds to him, no, it's not the same. Joseph and Daniel's stories are very different. Their spiritual levels are different. Their revelations are different. The circumstances are different. Yosef istaka migo milula de Pharaoh. Joseph, he interpreted the dream. He looked at it from the words of Pharaoh. As Pharaoh spoke, as Pharaoh told his version of the dream, Joseph understood that. He rearranged them as it makes sense. Right? He said, no, that structure is impossible. This is what really happened. And then he interpreted the dream. Because he understood the levels. He saw that he was mistaken in the way that he described the dream, because it doesn't make sense. He told them that's not exactly what happened. This is how it is. So Joseph corrected the dream. Begin the dagin kesita natyan, because he ordered everything as it should be. Everything was in its correct order and logic. About Daniel, but when it came to the prophet Daniel, he didn't understand anything from Nebuchadnezzar's words. He didn't take anything from what he said. Rather, he told them the dream and the words, meaning and the interpretation. So let's compare them. In Pharaoh's and Joseph's dream, Pharaoh told him his version of the dream. Joseph corrected it and then gave the interpretation. With Nebuchadnezzar brought all of his similar story. He brought all of his people from around the world and he said whoever doesn't is going to be killed. It was like a very dangerous situation. So when Daniel went, he asked the Creator to give him the message. He asked the Creator for the interpretation of the dream. But Nebuchadnezzar didn't even tell anyone what the dream was. Some commentators say he wanted to test people. Others say he completely forgot it. So Nebuchadnezzar was also given a dream and interpretation. I think he was also told the interpretation. He forgot it all, but he couldn't remember what it was. So what Daniel had to do was he had to tell him what the dream was, because Nebuchadnezzar never even told it. Even a wrong version he didn't tell. He didn't tell the dream at all. Again, whether he forgot it or he just was testing everyone. And then Daniel then gave an interpretation, as the Zohar says. What was the dream of Nebuchadnezzar? It's not so relevant to our section, but because we are talking about it, it says Nebuchadnezzar's dream, as Daniel interprets it, was that there was a great statue, that a stone came and knocked the statue down. The statue was made of four materials, of copper, of iron, of silver, and gold. And the stone that broke the statue turned into a great mountain. This is written in the book of Daniel. So Daniel told him the dream and interpreted it. Paragraph 61. Maktiv ben Daniel. So what does it say about Daniel and how did he interpret the dream? We said that Joseph understood the spiritual levels and he received the words. What was the basis for his interpretation? When it speaks about Daniel's encounter with Nebuchadnezzar, it says Edayin le Daniel v'chezva di ledia razagili. It says, then to Daniel, through a vision at night, the mystery, the secret was revealed. Edayin Daniel bar Shmaya. And after he got the interpretation, after the secret was revealed, he blessed God. What does it mean that Daniel saw the mystery, the secret was revealed through a dream, a night vision? What's a night vision? Bechezva di lelia, man chezva di lelia. What is a night vision? Da Gabriel. We're talking about the angel Gabriel. Gabriel. We know that the angel Gabriel is the angel of the left column. It's also the angel that is responsible for transmitting the messages of dreams. We've spoken about this before, how he receives the message, and the angel draws that down into our world, into our consciousness. Di'ihu chezva chezu min chezu. So the Zohar says that he is called vision, a vision of a vision. What does a vision of a vision mean? A vision from a vision. Here, Rav Ashlag reveals that the nighttime is called. The Malchut is called nighttime because it represents darkness, represents the vessel, represents no light of its own. That's nighttime. The Nukva, the Malchut, the female aspect, right? Masculine daytime, feminine nighttime, sun and moon. So, and that's the secret of the vision, which the vision represents sight. Sight is the level of the energy of Chokhmah, the light of wisdom, right? So our eyes are the light of wisdom. I don't have the chart here. Eyes are light of wisdom. Our ears are right level of Chokhmah, wisdom, level of Bina, understanding. That's the ears. Our nose is Zerampin, and our mouth is Malchut. So when it says that the vision is at night, again, it represents the light of Chokhmah with the eyes. And where does the light of Chokhmah shine? It only shines in Malchut. So that represents vision, represents the Nukva, the Malchut. So what is a vision? What is a night vision? It's basically Malchut of Malchut, or light of wisdom through the light of Malchut. So when it says that the vision of the vision, it's the vision of the nighttime. That's the angel Gabriel of the left column. Also, female aspect is left column. So therefore, the vision of the vision represents the vision that comes from Malchut, and therefore it's called therefore Gabriel is called the vision of the vision. It's that vision, that revelation that comes from the level of Malchut at nighttime. Okay, hope that makes sense. This is Rav Ashlag's explanation. 62. Tachazeh, come and see. Maktiv. What does it say? This is a verse in Ezekiel, chapter 43, verse 2. And they are coming from the east with a roar like a roar of mighty waters. Was the presence of the God of Israel, and the earth was lit up by his presence. This represents the light being revealed in the Malchut, light being revealed in our world. Makti batoi. What does the next verse say? Uchmare hamare. Right, it's not just a random verse because we're talking here about vision and nighttime. So the next verse, in verse 3 of chapter 43 of Ezekiel, it says, Uchmare hamare asher ha'iti, vevo'i l'sha'achet et ha'ir mar'ot, kamare asher ha'iti, ha'nehar keva va'epol al panai. So the vision was like a vision I had seen when I came to destroy the city. This is the very same vision that I had seen by I don't know how to say that in English, Kevar channel. Forthwith I fell on my face. So now the Zohar is going to point out, you'll see that there are 6 levels of vision. I'm going to just explain it and then we'll read it from the Zohar. Uchmare hamare. The vision was like a vision. That's 2. That I saw as I came to destroy the city. Same vision. Umalot. It's malot is plural for vision, so more than one, which means 2 more visions. Kamare, like a vision. Asher ra'iti, that I've seen. 6 visions. Okay, I should have numbered them. 1, 2. Malot 3, 4. Kamare 5. Asher ra'iti 6. Okay, now it represents the 6 levels of vision of the Malchut, as we'll see. levels of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod of the Nukva, of the Malchut. Again, whatever we understand, don't understand, it's less important. We're revealing this light, making this effort, drawing these levels upon ourselves, awakening great transformation and cleansing for ourselves in the world. Kolilin Marot, all these different visions, Inun Shit. There are 6 of them, as I enumerated earlier. The Inun Marot, which represents the vision, Vechezu de Chezva, the vision of vision, which represents the angel Gabriel, as we said before. Chezu Itle, he has a vision. He's able to see all the different levels and colors above, which represent the 6 levels of the Malchut. Right? The Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod of Malchut. We're going to get back to that actually. And they are seen within this vision, which again is the angel Gabriel. And there is a vision within a vision. And a vision within a vision. Da, one upon the other. Right? And these represent the different levels of. I messed something up. Oh, sorry. Just a second. No. Go back. And they all correspond to their specific levels, all arranged in the 6 levels as they should, one on top of the other. Okay. Vishalte, and from that place they control, they have dominion. And they are called the vision of the night, or the night vision. And that is how all dreams, the Zohar is revealing the inner working, the mechanics of dreams. It goes through all these different levels, and from there, all the dreams in the world are interpreted. Meaning through the angel Gabriel, and they are all in accordance to what happens above. They all represent everything that is, all the visions of the visions represent everything above them. They're like mirrors or reflecting what's above them, meaning whatever is revealed in dreams down here are reflections of all these spiritual levels in the levels above in the Malchut. I know it's a little complicated and wordy, but we did it, hopefully. Okay, paragraph 63. V'ginkach, and therefore, Daniel bechezva delelia razagali. That's why it says that Daniel saw in the night vision, everything was revealed to him. Idgelei laktiv. It doesn't say that it doesn't say that he revealed it. El raza gili. Rather, the secret was revealed. Chad me'ile dagin. Because one of these levels of the night vision, Galileahu Chelma Ufishrei. It's that is what. So the Zohar here is differentiating Daniel's interpretation of the dream and Joseph's interpretation of the dream. The Zohar here is saying that Daniel was given the interpretation of the dream. He didn't figure it out himself. Rather, it was given to him through all the levels that we said, the 6 levels of the Nukva, the vision of the vision, the angel Gabriel. They gave him the interpretation. Right? So it was handed to him, it was downloaded to him through the different levels. The dream and the interpretation. Aval Yosef, when it came to Joseph, Joseph's dream, the interpretation was not given to him from the spiritual levels and through the angel Gabriel. Joseph heard the words of Pharaoh, and from the words of Pharaoh, he interpreted the dream. From there, it's the dream itself that Joseph interpreted the dream from, and that's how it was revealed to him, and that's how he gave the interpretation to Pharaoh. Paragraph 64. And therefore, Pakdei al kol Arei Mitzrayim. Because of this, he was given command over all of Egypt. Begin to Kuch because the Creator midilei di Yosef ka yahiv le, because the Creator gave him of his own, from himself. Now the Zohar is going to go through all the honors that Joseph received, but the Zohar here is revealing that everything that Joseph got was all in accordance to his actions, which means it's not random, the blessings he received. It all corresponds to the type of restriction that he did, which means wherever your restriction is, that's where your light is going to be revealed, and how the Zohar reveals it to us. Puma de la nashik lavera, because with his mouth he did not kiss the sin, meaning while she tried to seduce him, he didn't succumb in that way. Ktiv, that's why it says, Valpicha isha kolami. That's why Pharaoh took off his ring, and he gave his ring to Joseph, and he says, "On through your mouth, everyone will follow what you say." Right, which means it's through the mouth, because you did not use your mouth in the wrong way. Then your mouth will be used, and everyone will follow you. Yada, his mouth, excuse me, his hand. De la avera, he did not use his hands to come close to spiritual falling, to sinning. Ktiv, it says, Vayitenota al yad Yosef. So Pharaoh took off his ring. Oh, before it wasn't about the ring, about the mouth. That was the words. Now the Pharaoh took off his ring and he put it on Joseph's hand, and he said, and putting on the ring on his hand because he didn't use his hands to spiritually fall as well. Tzava, on his neck. De la avera, he did not. It's almost like he didn't stick out his neck. He didn't put himself into the negativity. Ktiv v'yasem levid zahav tzavaro. It says the Pharaoh, because he did not use his neck for the negativity, he did not go into that direction. His neck was adorned with a golden chain. Gufa, he didn't use his body to sin. De la avera, he didn't use his body to sin. His body was adorned, his body was dressed with special fine linen. And oh, by the way, all of these details, the mouth, the hand, his body, all of them also correspond to different spiritual levels. He didn't use his feet to act in a negative way. And also he ran away, right? And so therefore he was put in a chariot. His feet did not. The word used in Aramaic is it used the same root word of chariot. So he didn't use his legs in that way, and therefore he was put on a beautiful chariot. Hamachshava de lachashav, his mind, he didn't let his thoughts go into negativity. Not only in the act with Potiphar's wife when she tried to seduce him. That, by the way, that's I didn't make that clear probably. But all of these things the Zohar is talking about is when Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him. So he didn't kiss her, he didn't use his mouth, he didn't use his hand, he wasn't involved at all physically, and therefore, in all the levels of restriction that he did, he received a great blessing. And so here, his thoughts. He didn't use his thoughts for negative thoughts with wife of Potiphar, but also with the thoughts of not harboring any hatred towards his brothers, and his thoughts not to feel like a victim throughout the entire process. Therefore, Nikan Avon V'Chacham, and therefore Pharaoh called him discreet and wise. Lev Shelo Hiher, with his heart, he didn't once again go into we spoke before a few days ago, or yesterday, I don't remember, that our heart directs us into different ways, and we have to be guided by our desires, by our hearts, with the desire of the Creator. And he did not let his heart go astray. He did not let his desires take him into, even though he wanted to experience whatever it was, even though he wanted to take this opportunity, he did not let himself go there. And therefore it says that everyone cried before him, avrech, which means it's like kneeling down, bowing down to him, which means he subdued his desires in the way that they should be. And he took everything that belonged to him. Everything that was really his. Whatever, you can only receive something through the restriction that you do. If there's no restriction, you can't receive something. something is only yours. You can only be revealed in your life when you manage to have the restriction for them. So Joseph, why did he control? We'll learn about this more. But it says Joseph was in control of this world. He ruled the world because he controlled himself. Your restriction, your ability to resist the instant gratification, the urge of instant gratification of your opponent, not just in a story like Joseph, but in all areas of our lives. That is what actually reveals the blessings in our lives. So if it's in your relationship, if it's in your business or your work, if it's with your family, with anything that you want to experience more blessings, that always need to find where is my restriction? Why don't I have the blessings that I want in this area? There must be some restriction that I'm not activating this area. Restriction can also be the effort that I make to go against my desire for temporary comfort. That's restriction. We're going to stop here and we'll continue tomorrow on Monday with paragraph 65. I want to wish everyone an amazing Shabbat. We know that Shabbat before any holiday contains all the light in it. So this Shabbat already, as we began the week of um, of Hod. We began the week of Hod. Today is Chesed Shebehod. The fifth week, the week of Hod, is the energy of Aaron, Aaron Kohen, the energy of peace. We can already start to bring this light of peace, the light of Rabbi Shimon, all the light of as Aaron was a channel of Chesed, of mercy, of love, Ohev Shalom, Verodef Shalom. He would love peace and pursue, chase after peace. May we all be blessed with the light of Rabbi Meir Balanes on Pesach Sheni, with all the light of freedom, blessed with the energy of light of miracles, energy of Shabbat, with all the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, with the week of Hod Sheba Hod, the week of Hod, which is the week of peace and love and healing. We all be blessed with that to come to next week in the energy of Lag BaOmer to reveal all the light of the Zohar that we need to for ourselves and for the world this year. Shabbat Shalom. See you guys on Monday.